You'll remember that in the world of conditional happiness, we talked about having this or that objective condition. There is something analogous to that in the world of unconditional happiness. There is something objective, not simply sensory, in the world of unconditional happiness. What's objective is our objective behavior. If we are optimal in our objective behavior, then whatever the outcome, we will be happy, even if we fail. If we did our best, if we gave our A game, if we were to our best possibility acting in good character and ethics, even if things don't work out, we still have the right to be happy. And in fact, we won't be happy unless that dimension is also there. If extraordinary happiness or happiness independent of conditions were merely okay to transcend the mind and body, well, there's some pathological ways that people transcend the mind and body. But when people transcend the mind and body in those pathological ways, the pathology leaks over into their behavior, and that's how you know. But when people transcend the mind and body in a healthy way, the health must eventually seep into the behavior. And if it doesn't, then they weren't taking feedback or there's some other problem. I take two dimensions in behavior. One might be called character. Talked about a little bit about that at the beginning of the talk, character. Sila in the Pali language, Shila in the Sanskrit language. We can think of it in terms of positive behavior change. Everybody needs positive behavior change in their life. Well, it turns out that concentration power, sensory clarity, and equanimity are very related to changing our behavior, because objective behavior is driven by body-mind experience. As you start to get a handle on your thoughts, and particularly your emotional body sensations, but also physical body sensations that might drive eating behaviors and so forth. Touch, feel, image, talk they're what drive our behaviors. So if we want to change external behaviors, avoid doing certain things that we should be avoiding, start doing certain things that we are procrastinating on, those are sort of the two sides to behavior change. Well, getting a handle on body-mind states that are controlling those behaviors will certainly be relevant to controlling the behaviors themselves, changing the behaviors themselves. So character could also be called positive behavior change. What I have found, however, is that although concentration, clarity, and equanimity are very powerful tools to potentiate behavior change, they may not be sufficient. I myself, I won't go into details, but most of you have heard my own personal stories of struggles with behavior changes over the years, and the fact that I not so many years ago spent 18 months with a psychiatrist working on a certain behavior issue. I needed something from the outside, some external behaviorally oriented force on me. Now, I'll still say a large part of whatever success I've had with that behavior change has come from the practice, but I needed that external support. I needed it from a mental health professional. The improvements in behavior, improvements in character over the years is an important dimension in unconditional or extraordinary happiness. Another behavior dimension besides the character piece is performance. We have sports performance, we have job performance, there's academic performance. There are things where we want to be able to do the very best, to be the very best that we could possibly be, professionally, intellectually or academically, what have you, the best that one can possibly do in terms of task performance, that to me leads to extraordinary happiness. Because as I say, if you know you did your best, even if it doesn't work out, you'll still be happy. I put under behavior character improvement and performance improvement. Those are something that are objective, although they're related to sensory experience. To sum it up, in the realm of extraordinary happiness, you're happy if your objective behaviors are the best they can be. And you're happy if you avoid suffering and find fulfillment, avoid confusion as a problem, and find the answer. Those taken together represent extraordinary happiness, or happiness independent of conditions. Mindfulness skills impact all facets of ordinary happiness and all facets of extraordinary happiness. But there's another dimension to happiness. We're not alone in this world. What I just described is happiness for a person. So if I had a lot of ordinary happiness and a lot of extraordinary happiness, I wouldn't yet be totally happy. I wouldn't be happy unless I did something to contribute to the happiness of others. For many reasons. At the ordinary plane, because I'm an ordinary human. And with regards to extraordinary happiness, one of the facets of extraordinary happiness, as you'll remember, is to have the wisdom that knows your source. And if you know your source, you know who you are, means you know where you come from. Where you come from is where everyone comes from. And an automatic consequence of that is you cannot help but seeing everyone as sort of yourself. Automatically, the issue of the happiness of others becomes relevant to you. If we want to speak of contributing to the happiness of others, it makes sense to consider that that service, that contributing, can be done both towards the ordinary happiness of others and towards the extraordinary happiness of others. So when you contribute to the ordinary happiness of others, that's what people ordinarily mean by service. You support good causes. You give to charity. You philanthropize. Volunteering, hospice. Part or all of your job can be seen, your work can be seen as service. And some people are fortunate that they have jobs with a large service component. If they're a mental health professional or a health professional or in any of the helping professions, there's a large service component right in what you're being paid to do. People find that very fulfilling. Certainly, what you give to your family, the creation and raising of children, setting them up to have conditions, have pleasure in their body, have knowledge in their mind. The main one for most people will be the family. The raising of the family is the service to others. That contributes to the ordinary happiness of the world.